Have you noticed you or a loved one has been consuming an excessive amount of alcohol since the coronavirus pandemic has started? Also, what if I told you that COVID 19 was not the only health problem we're facing right now? Since the entire country has been on lockdown since March, alcohol consumption and sales have drastically increased. For individuals that have family members or friends that know alcoholism runs in their family, this can be exceptionally dangerous. But why, you might ask, why am I telling you this? Because this is relevant to all of you. We all had to endure the emotional stress these past few months of being locked down. We all need to learn healthy coping mechanisms, and we need to be prepared what to do in case we go in another lockdown. But listen, we are all in the same position. We were all stuck inside our homes for the months of March, April, and May. And even though restrictions are slowly starting to lift themselves, some people still have not adjusted to this new way of life. I want you all to be healthy mentally and physically, especially with this virus going around. If you or a loved one knows somebody that has struggled with alcohol abuse, then call this hotline at 1-800-662-4357. In this speech, I will bring awareness to alcohol abuse because of the coronavirus pandemic, along with ways to teach you healthy coping mechanisms to get rid of these bad and unhealthy habits. Now let's get this started. I'll bring you to my first point. Alcohol sales have tremendously increased since the start of the coronavirus pandemic. As you can see here, wine sales have increased by 27.6%, spirits have increased by 26.4%, beer, cider, and malt beverages have increased by 14%. Now you know that a lot of people like to do stuff online and people don't like going to the store because of the pandemic. Online sales for alcohol have increased by 42%. 24 packs of beer by 24%, 3-liter boxed wine by 53%. According to a study done on JAMA Network Open, frequent alcohol consumption has increased by 14% all around from 2019 to 2020. And according to sociologist Michael S. Pollard, people use alcohol to cope with stress, depression, and anxiety, all of which are very apparent in today's society because of the coronavirus pandemic. Now that you know how much alcohol consumption has been increased because of this pandemic, let me talk to you about why this is not a good time to be indulging in this substance. According to the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, alcohol targets the immune system and it gives it inflammation and it hinders the body's ability to fight off bacterial and viral infections. The NIAAA also states that while alcohol can provide short-term relief for stress and depression, it just makes the problems worse in the long run. Even when the alcohol wears off, you start feeling those problems again. Here are some signs if you or a loved one are struggling with alcohol abuse. If you know someone that has a constant urge to drink alcohol, they drink excessive amounts every time, they drink to face their problems, they're highly irritable, or even experience withdrawal symptoms, all of which can be very deadly. Hopefully by now you know that it is not good to be doing this at this time. But let's say we go on lockdown again. What are some other healthy coping mechanisms you can do to let the time pass? Well, for me, when lockdown first started, I wasn't being healthy at all. I wasn't exercising. I started eating junk food and watching TV all day. Now I know to be prepared next time. According to the CDC website, there are plenty of other methods you can use that aren't damaging to your body. For example, the 4-7-8 method. In this method, you inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, and exhale for 8. This is a form of meditation, and it's usually used to help people fall asleep, but it can also help you relieve the stress in your mind. Another way you can be healthy during next quarantine, if we have any, is to eat healthy foods and exercise at home. It keeps your body in great shape, and it also helps prepare you for any sickness, unlike alcohol, which weakens your immune system, so if you do get sick, it could be potentially a lot worse. And now, as we approach the end, let's think about what we learned today. We know that alcohol abuse is very serious, and we know the signs if you have yourself or a family member that you think has having substance abuse struggles. Let's take a moment to look back. To recap, alcohol sales and consumption have exponentially increased at an alarming rate because of this coronavirus pandemic. During a time like this, we need to be prepared and we need to know what to do with ourselves when we have all this free time, not wasting it by drinking and having substance abuse problems, but rather being productive. And if you see anybody with these problems, get them help. Now, the final thought I want to leave you guys with today is, let's say you wake up tomorrow morning and you get an announcement on your phone that says we're going back on lockdown until further notice, just like how we were in April. What would you do? Would you let the stress and depression get to you? Or are you going to be productive and use this as a learning opportunity or an opportunity to better yourself?